Hi, I'm Lynn Bridgeford from the 8th Bios Clinic and 8th Bios Yoga, and today we're going to do a few simple exercises, yoga based and movement, just to keep things nice and fluid in the spirit of Christmas. So get comfortable and join me. Christmas is supposed to be a time of peace and joy and union with people, and somehow it can often get really busy. We will keep this simple as something you can slot into your day and add to just keep things feeling great. So we're going to start with a little bit of spinal movement. So bend the knees and allow the tailbone just to lengthen, and we're just going to have a little swing of the arms, keeping the nose in line with the breastbone. So all through the spine is rotating. Bring the arms up and you go a little bit higher up the spine. And it's a gentle movement, just easing through the vertebra. And then we can go a little further and swing around and let the arms swing. And just let the spine nicely ease, nothing forced. Another good movement is just letting the hips move. So circling them one way. Keep the upper body as still as you can, circle the other way. If you want to let the upper body join in, it's a bit like the other end of a piece of string. So just keep that movement, removing the hips, removing the low back. We can bring the arms into it and we can bring them up, moving the hips one way, then the other, or we can start to bring the upper body in it as well. And we get that movement going all the way around. If you think about it, it goes weird if you just start off moving the pelvis and allow the body to follow. You can get a nice movement and give it all a little shake. Interlinking the hands behind the back if you can, or you can hold a belt. Lift the chest, draw the shoulders back and down, reaching down with your hands. We want to keep the floating ribs tucked in a little bit. You can tuck the chin in. Take a few breaths there. Just allow the neck to relax down. Coming up straight on the inhale, turn the head to one side and breathe. Keeping that traction down on the hands. Turn the other side. Keeping the neck in what I call a neutral position, so we've got a nice long spine, no tension at the base of the neck. Come back to face front, keeping the nose in line with the breastbone. Draw the hands down and incline to one side, just allowing the head, the weight of the head, to stretch through that trapezius muscle. A few deep breaths, because the heart and the lungs connect to the neck. Come up on the inhale and go to the other side. You might want to give a little extra pull down on the hand of the side you're stretching. Keep it comfortable. Come up on the inhale and roll the shoulders back and down. And one at a time. And coming forward, you may feel some creaky noises. Let it all shake out. If your neck is feeling particularly tight, perhaps you've been doing too much sitting, too much shopping, too much watching TV, too much behind the computer, or stress will go to the neck. We take the hand and we're going to squeeze this big muscle at the back of the shoulder. We're not coming to the front, we're staying at the back, and we need it. Squeeze up and down, just along top of the shoulder blade, behind the collarbone. When you get to the top bit, right, that big meaty bit at the top, hold it and gently incline away. Take a few deep breaths. It should feel like a nice gentle stretch. Nothing too sore. Come up on the inhale and shake the arms out. We're going the other side. We're going to need this muscle. One side might feel different to the other. Squeeze up and down. And then get to that big meaty bit at the top. We're avoiding the front because we don't want to pass out. So behind the collarbone. Incline away, let that arm relax. Let the head find a neutral position. Few deep breaths in and out. Come up again, roll the shoulders, and they may make a few less noises than they did before. With the feet wide apart, taking a lunge position with the knee going no further than the ankle, so find what works for you. If you want to go further, have the legs wider, lengthen in the tailbone, reach that leg away from you, and we're getting a good stretch through the psoas muscle. Shoulders down. You can also reach up if you want to. Make sure you keep breathing. I'll do this side a little bit less wide, so we're not bending as far. Just stay within your capabilities. Reach the back leg away and reach the arms up if you want to, drawing those shoulder blades down. Coming down on all fours with the hands under the shoulders, butt above the knees, nice straight spine. Wag the tail a little bit, just move the low back. You're creating a banana shape gently with one side of the body and then the other. Just wag that tail gently. And with the spine nice and straight, we're going to lengthen through the spine, lift the tailbone, lift the chest, lift the head. We're going into a cat-cow. Then we're going to breathe out, curl the tailbone under, curl around the chest, bring the head down. And reversing it, so we lift the tailbone on the inhale, lift the chest and lift the head. And we breathe out, curl the tailbone around, curl around the chest, curl down the head, and once more we're breathing into the lower lung, lift the tail. If this works for you, middle lung, lift the chest, upper lung, lift the head. Breathing out, lower lung, curl around, middle lung, curl around the heart, upper lung, curl around the head. Come back to neutral and sit back in a nice long pose of a child. So reaching forwards. If you need to put pillows underneath your chest, you can. Find the position that works for you. If you have shoulder issues, you may need to adjust your arms. What we're aiming to do is have a really good stretch through the pelvis. We can have a little wiggle, stretch through the low back, stretch through the arms. Going into downward facing dog. If you're able to, tuck the toes under. We're going to lift the butt, straighten through the spine, lift the butt up to the sky. You can keep the knees bent if you want to. Have a little wiggle to find your way into the pose, let the head relax. If you can go further, straighten the legs and bring the heels down. It's more important to get a straight spine than straight legs, so you can wiggle into the pose. Wiggle your feet, paddle your feet, paddle through the shoulders, draw those shoulder blades down and let the head float between the arms. Breathing, come down and sit back in pose of a child. Sitting comfortably, either in easy pose or you can sit on a ball or on a chair, however works for you. Get a nice feeling of a lift through the top of the head to the sky, shoulders above the hips, crown above the base, tuck the floating ribs down a little and engage your core so you have a nice strong spine. We're going to press the hands into the knees, lift up through the spine, take a few deep breaths. And we're going to reach up with one arm, take the other hand beside us, take the shoulder blade down and gently reach over to the side. You can bend this arm or you can bring the forearm down on the floor, stretching all the way through the side of the body, keeping the butt on the floor, keeping the neck in neutral. If you want to go all the way you can, just find what works for you. Come up on the inhale, press the hands into the knees, lengthen through the spine. Reach the other arm up, opposite arm beside you, draw the shoulder blades down. Reach up and then gently, keeping the length, reach over to the side. Doesn't matter how far you go, you could have your hand on the side of a chair or you could bring your arms down. Find what works for you. And come up, lengthening through the spine. We're going to take one hand beside us, Reach up with the other arm, twist around, take the hand outside the knee, lift up on the inhale and gently rotate from the base of the spine upwards. Spinal twists gently are really good for releasing tension, and they also give a nice stretch through the adrenals at the base of the ribs. On the other side, reach up, lift around, twist, bring the hand outside the knee, press the hand against the knee and the other one into the floor or the chair or wherever you are. Breathe gently, lifting on the inhale, twist on the exhale, and have a little wiggle side to side. Just ease through. You might like to make a few circles. Just ease through the hips and through the pelvis and through the low back. Reaching the arms up, draw the shoulder blades down and reach up all the way through one side of the body and then the other. Keeping it nice and easy, and bring the arms down. And bring your feet up towards you, lift the bottom to lengthen in the spine. Cross one leg over for a figure of 4. If that's as far as you can go, that's fine. If you can go further, bring the leg up towards you, or you may use a belt behind there. We're stretching across the piriformis in the butt, and you can use the elbow of the upper hand against the leg if that works for you. You want a sweet stretch across those butt muscles, the piriformis, and release. Other side. Cross the foot over, relax the knee down, feed through, draw up towards you. And it doesn't matter how far you go, you're listening to what's happening in that muscle in the butt. We're going to end with a bridge, so pressing the heels into the mat, lift the navel to the sky, lift up vertebra by vertebra, keep the legs strong, knees above the ankles, shoulders down, breathe to the top of the chest. Taking the arch all the way through the spine, we're working the legs, we're working the quadriceps, we're working the hamstrings, we're working through the feet, we're working through the back. And then we lengthen through the back as we come down. Bend one leg up and the other. Rock side to side, reaching the butt away. And we're going once more. Feet apart, about 1 foot length between the feet. Lengthen through the spine. Press the heels into the mat and lift up through the spine. Stay here for a few breaths if you can. Lengthen down. Hug one leg up the other. And then come and relax down. You can either keep your knees bent, you can turn the heels out and the toes in so they relax down, or if it's comfortable, bring the legs down. Bring the hands onto the belly. Make sure your body's nicely aligned. You can adjust your bottom if you need to, lift it up. You can lift the head up if you need to. Bring the hands on the belly. And take a few deep breaths. You can bring the hands on the ribs if you want to feel the movement at the diaphragm. And when you've had a few minutes to relax, hike your knees up towards your chest, turn on your side and come up to sit. One of the really important things about breathing is noticing when we're holding our breath, which is a very common thing with feeling stress or tense. We tend to hold our breath. So just by noticing that you're holding your breath, have a little bit of awareness, your body will naturally breathe as soon as you notice that you're holding it. So breathe through the festive season. I wish you joy and peace, and I look forward to seeing you again. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining me. I'm passionate about sharing my yoga journey and all the wonderful things that yoga has to offer for our life and our benefit. And I really look forward to sharing more with you and hope you join me more on my journey. Please like, subscribe, chat to me, ask me any questions, and connect with me on my other channels. There's YouTube, there's Instagram, there's LinkedIn, my Facebook page, my website. So thank you so much. That's Lynn Bridgeford, Aether Bios Yoga.